Welcome to the Chaos Multiverse. Jimmy or Chaos, here is your spoiler alert. We will be talking about huge spoilers for No Way Home. If you haven't seen the movie and you're trying not to be spoiled, you should click off this video right now. Once you go watch it, come back and you can join the conversation with us. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Do me a favor, make sure you have those notifications turned on. Thank you so much for 20,000 subscribers. Today, I'm going to explain the ending of Spider-Man No Way Home. And I want to tell you right now, I took my family last night, my 11-year-old daughter, Lainey, who loves Zendaya and loves Tom and Zendaya together. The ending of this movie, it pissed her off. It was very divisive. She did not like it. She almost said she was going to veto Spider-Man movies moving forward if something didn't get fixed, which I will explain what actually happened there. And I'll tell you right now, they pulled on your heartstrings in so many different ways with this movie. So spoiler alert's been given. Yes, Toby and Andrew are in the movie, and I actually recorded audio of the crowd reactions when they actually happened in my theater. I didn't show the screen or anything, but if I can, I'm going to play that audio for you guys so you can listen really quick. Now, if I could play it and you heard it, you get it. It's like in-game style. That's how big of a deal. There was multiple times in my theater alone where the crowd reacted in a positive way, or it was a sad moment and they reacted in a sad way. It pulled on your heartstrings. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. I'll do an official review on the entire movie pretty soon, but I want to let it process and I also want to watch it a couple more times. But the ending. Okay, how do you wrap it all up in a bow? We were told by Pascal and Tom Holland himself that this would complete the Homecoming franchise. This would be an ending that wrapped it up. Now, we've also been told that 3 more Spider-Man movies are already on the way and a new trilogy is coming. And we're going to follow Peter into college and we're going to get to see new story arcs. We know Kraven the Hunter's coming. We know Morbius is in the mix. We'll talk about, well, if you missed the post-credit scene video, go check it out about Venom. That's going to be interesting, but I think that plays into something even farther down the road when it comes to Secret War and Symbiote Peter. But we know there's more to come, and it's going to be a more mature tone and a darker tone, and this movie took us to that level with Tom Holland. We went from the kid, the whimsical, funny banter all the time, to a very mature, dark tone Tom Holland, which is what a lot of people wanted to see with his character. So let's set the ending really quick. If you don't know, here we go. They are able to capture all of the villains. Not only capture, but they fix them. That's right. They fix every one of them. They fix Electro to where he's just Max and he doesn't have the powers. Green Goblin, they take out his bipolar or his split personality. The same with Doc Ock. They fix him to where he doesn't have all the noise and manipulation in his head anymore. Lizard gets turned back into a human, and Sandman gets turned back into a human, which was a huge part for me. Toby and Andrew, fully part of that. But we get to the point at the end where the multiverse is ripping open. And if you look closely, you can vaguely see a ton of other villains trying to get in. And you can see what looks to be Kraven the Hunter with a staff and a big puffy coat. You can see what looks to be a rhinoceros with one horn. And you can see what looks to be a scorpion's tail, which is pretty cool. So Doctor Strange is trying to stop all these rips from happening. And he's like, I can't stop this. So, the spell that started it all, where everybody would forget Peter Parker, right, except for a few people, Peter says, what if you do the spell and you have everybody forget me? Or forget who Peter Parker is. Not Spider-Man, but Peter Parker. Everybody. MJ, Ned, all of them. And Doctor Strange says, yes, that'll work. So, Peter makes the ultimate sacrifice, and he has him do the spell, and everybody forgets him. Even MJ, even Ned. So he doesn't exist to them anymore. And he goes about his business and he tells MJ before it happens, it's a super emotional scene. She's like, you better find me and you better make me remember. And he says, I will. I promise. I mean, it was gripping. It was. Same with him and Ned. It was crazy. So we fast forward. It happens and Peter walks into the bakery where MJ's working. She obviously doesn't recognize him. Ned comes in. He doesn't recognize him. They're bantering back and forth. They both got into MIT, which is cool. And funny part is, when Peter goes to his new apartment, he opens up one of his boxes. He's getting his GED. Okay? So anyway, they're in there, and Peter has notes written down, which he's going to tell MJ to try to convince her, and he's ready. And they start talking, and then he sees a Band-Aid on her forehead. So she got a cut on her forehead during the battle, and she's got a Band-Aid, and he's like, are you okay? and she says, "It doesn't hurt anymore." And at that moment, he puts his notes back up and he stops what he was going to do. He stops with the pre-planned how he's going to convince her that who he is and that she knows him and everything that happened, and he stops. And it's because she said it doesn't hurt anymore. And he realizes that being Spider-Man and being Peter Parker and everybody knowing that, it hurts the people closest to him, which I'm not going to spoil in this video, but it really hurt somebody close to him in the movie, which we'll talk. Actually, I can spoil it. I said in the spoiler alerts. Aunt May dies, okay? That's his Peter Parker, Uncle Ben moment. So he gets it. And he makes the decision in that moment to not let her hurt anymore. And he doesn't pursue her in that fashion. And it ends on a good note. You can tell she's like, "Deja vu, do I know you?" And he walks out and he goes into his new apartment, sits down, puts his little Darth Sidious Star Wars character that him and Ned were building in Homecoming. That's his remembrance of Ned. And then we kind of move on. He goes to the gravesite to see Aunt May's grave. Happy comes, obviously doesn't recognize him, says, "How did you know her?" He said, "Through Spider-Man." And he is now operating as Peter Parker and Spider-Man that nobody knows, okay? So people were pissed. My daughter was pissed because they didn't give us any closure on him getting MJ back. No closure on her starting to remember him or him making efforts to, because he didn't want to hurt her anymore and he thought she was in a good place. Does that mean they won't get back together in the next trilogy? Absolutely not. They'll probably all end up in the college era, and I would assume that he'll start to piece it together with her and try to make her remember. Or they could go left field and we could get introduced to Gwen, which is going to piss off a lot of people. Let's be real. It truly, truly is. Especially my daughter, because she'll never go watch another Spider-Man movie. So my guess is, in the next trilogy, he'll start to figure out ways for MJ to remember him if Zendaya signs on for the trilogy, which I assume she will. And it depends on their relationship in real life. They're together now, but if they weren't together in 3 years, that would be kind of awkward. So we'll have to see how it goes. So he basically saved everybody, and he saved them from him. Now, it's not the storybook ending everybody wanted. I get that. But it does wrap it up with a bow. Everybody's good. They're going to go on to MIT. They're safe. And Peter's going to go on to the next step of his life. A more mature Peter, a more mature tone. And at the end, he puts on his classic. He sews together his red and blue Spider-Man suit, which is just symbolism of not only taking the mantle from Andrew and Tobey, but just becoming his own friendly neighborhood Spider-Man instead of Tony Stark's Spider-Man or the Avengers Spider-Man. And to me, I thought it was a good ending. Do they get back together down the road? I think they will. I truly, truly do. But it makes a lot of sense why he did what he did. And if they were trying to pull on people's heartstrings, they got him. My daughter was crying. Both of my daughters were bawling about it, but they left it open-ended. So it's not like it was definitive or anything like that. And then there's Ned. And we're going to talk about Ned in a separate video tomorrow, because I'm telling you right now, the foreshadowing was thick in this movie, and I'll explain what I mean. You guys know the rumors about Hobgoblin. Wait for the video tomorrow. But there you go. That's the ending explained in Spider-Man No Way Home. Phenomenal movie. If you can watch it in cinema, try to. Please, please. I'll see you guys tomorrow.